This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV. Wednesday night, we bring you the best of what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, and that's what it is right now. The season has just got started. This past weekend was the official start of the Western Province Club Rugby League season. Very exciting. We've got a whole lot of games to look at this evening. Of course, big thanks to our partners that have come on board with Cape Rugby TV. Score Energy Drinks, as you know, Score's on board with Western Province Rugby as well as the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens tournament. That comes up later in the year, and of course during the course of tonight's show you'll have an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. Dulux Maitland, you can see them there behind me now, just over Fort Trekker Road, on board with Cape Rugby TV. They've got all your paint supplies, and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. And of course the Stormers will be at MChem next week. We'll take a little bit of a look at that later during the course of the show. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Jerome, nice to have you back.
Yeah, JP, good to be back again. And yeah, I mean, you could see all the action is back, and good rugby over the weekend.
Looking forward to it. Ishmael Dolly.
Yeah, good to be back on the show. Or the old guard, as they say in the classics.
The old guard, yeah, you guys are the old guard. The three of you, the three original Musketeers.
Yeah. So yeah, our first league game done and dusted, and everyone's probably into the swing of things. So looking forward to a nice packed show.
We're going to have that conversation. We're going to have that conversation. Morgan Newman.
How's it, James?
Looking splendid in your Cape Rugby top there.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't realize if Ish was coming in uniform, I should probably come in hammies, but after the result of the weekend, probably best that I just stay neutral for this week.
Well, you guys are neutral. If you're on this TV show, you're neutral. You have to be neutral.
100%.
You have to talk about all the clubs, and we don't. Ishmael Dolly might be wearing that Union Mill top, but he's here to speak as a Cape Rugby TV panel member, right, Ish?
Absolutely.
Right.
Strictly neutral.
Right, folks, many of you have been asking for more rugby footage, and we've managed to do just that. This week, we've managed to source quite a lot of the Super League A games, and we will be taking a look during the course of the show at some of the other games. Remember, of course, we do feature all the leagues, not only Super League A, so although tonight you will see a lot of the Super League A games, never fear, we'll be sourcing games from the other leagues as well. Of course, this weekend we went out to go and watch Hamilton's up against Union Mill. Let's see what happened.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
All right, welcome back, folks. For our first game of the season, Union Mill up against Hamilton's. Well, Union Mill certainly have come through the ranks over the last few years. Ishmael Dolly, before we start talking about the game itself, now, how long have you been at Union Mill now?
So this is my 8th season.
8 years.
8 years at Union Mill. It's been a journey of up and downs. As long as my rugby career. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey and hope to continue.
All right, let's go to Jerome. Jerome, Union Mill going into the first half there, leading 29-5. Ishmael Dolly's certainly managed to get off to a good start.
Yeah, strangely, JP and Morgan is sitting here now. Last week when they played Villages, I actually complimented the defense of Hamilton's. And I said, I don't know if Morgan is doing the defense, but I said they were quite good on the defense. And it's a total different team this week. I mean, 29 points at halftime. So something happened there. And I must say also, I think with the forwards, if I just look at the technical aspect, that if you're going to contest that way, if you don't go up in the air or you don't sack properly, team is going to score more tries against you, and I think Union Mill did well.
From your point of view, did you identify a line-out problem there?
Yeah, from it makes the defense so much easier if you can steal or you can slow that ball down at the line-out time. But it's difficult once you get that machine going. It's difficult to stop it.
29-5, Hamilton's trailing there at halftime. We'll catch up with the captains and coaches in a short while. Let's take a look now at the second half.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
Hamilton's and Union Mill, and it end up there with a massive score. Union Mill 63-29 over Hamilton's. Morgs, we might as well go straight to you here. I suppose we were all expecting a slightly more even game, but it's the first game of the season. Everyone's still getting a feel for it. Is that the approach at Hammies at the moment? It's just getting a go for it? Or is it a question of Union Mill's really brilliant this year?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's I suppose it's a blend of a number of things, James. You know, I think the club as a whole at Hamilton's is going through a bit of a transition at the moment. You know, there's just a lot of changes and a lot of fresh, new faces. You know, Ish and I were talking off air now, but I think there are only 4 or 5 guys from that Hamilton side that actually played last year against Union Mill in the quarterfinal or the semi-final of the President's Cup. So we're going through a massive transition, but having said that, you know, we still had the quality on the field to be a lot closer than 63-29.
Yeah, well, it looked like it. I mean, looking at the game there, you certainly looked like you had a lot of guys running tries in.
Yeah, 100%. You know, so I mean, it's easy to blame injuries and easy to look for excuses. But
what's the first game? And we saw this thing with the same with the Stormers at the beginning of the year, and everybody went crazy. But it was the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about basically team consistency there. 4 new guys, or 4 guys from last year. So you got a whole new squad. Ish, but one of your strong points is that you've still got the same squad.
Yeah, in contrast to what Morgs just mentioned, I mean, I've been at the club for 8 years. Our first team coaching staff has been together for 7 years. The core of our squad has been exactly the same since the day we started. We've added 1 or 2 players to make sure that they've added value in our squad in certain key positions. But I think when you have that same culture, the same vibe, it's very easy for the guys to buy into the system because you've built up that relationships with him over the years. The exec and the club has empowered you, and they've got the full trust and backing. So I think contrast to
that's your strength at the moment. That's your strength. Because a lot of people are asking, what's making Union Mill so strong? I mean, you've come up through the ranks. We know that you avoided your promotion into Super League A for a long time.
You're always going to help.
I've always. We're going to take a look. We're going to have a further conversation with the guys about that a little bit later. Let's quickly catch up with the captain and coaches from Hamilton's, of course, Nicky Viljoen, and the captain there at Hamilton's, Louis Nel.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
You never arrive at the game thinking that you're going to lose or whatever. You know, that's so we felt that we were prepared. You know, there's still stuff that we need to work on and stuff, but you know, by now, you know, as a Super A League team, you gotta have your ducks in a row. You know, and Union Mill used their opportunities and they scored tries. You know, defensively, you know, just individual errors. You know, defensively, you know, guys not sticking to defensive structures. You know, and Union Mill capitalized. You know, when you're 29-5 down, you can still turn around. Champion teams should do that. You know, so we'll just take this as a learning curve, you know, and move forward and prepare for UWC.
Het was laas jaar ons laaste wedstryd. Ons wou hierdie jaar terugkom en enetjie terugkry op hulle. Maar ongelukkig het ons vandag weer bietjie vasgeval. Maar soos hulle altyd sê, die liga word in April gewen nie. So ek weet ons gaan hier vanaf bou. Ons nog 'n lang seisoen wat voor lê. Van hier af gaan ons kop neersit en net harder werk, klein goedjies begin uitsort. Maar ja, die laaste 20 minute was definitief positief geweest. Ons het ons bonuspunt gekry. So ja, van daar af geluk gaan ons seisoen net omdraai. Ons gaan hierdie week terug na die drawing board toe gaan, hard werk, koppe af, neersit vir die volgende game. En ja, sien uit na die IWK game.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
All right, there we go, folks. First game of the season, Jerome. Nothing happens until the first game. You can't take last year at any stage and think that it's going to be the same as this year. You've got to get your guys an opportunity to get to know each other in real match time. You've got to give them an opportunity to start understanding what the coach was talking about. And it doesn't mean much until you test it on the field. And that's the first opportunity for the coach to check. Did he listen?
Yeah, look, also like with the friendly games or pre-season games, that's where the coach like test all their combinations, and as you say, it's the first game, so now the coaches know what to work on and what to expect, and they start to know the players now, so it's easier now. Now the coaching starts. So now you need to get points and you need to correct what went wrong.
Now the coaching starts. Ish, not in your head there.
No, I fully agree. I think this is an anomaly, and I think Amis they're classy enough to bounce back from this. For me, the key thing is that what happened is done and dusted now. I mean, that's the past. We're a couple of games or a couple of days away from our next league game.
I honestly don't think we must talk too much about this. There's going to see a lot of results like this still
Exactly.
during the season. It's a long way to go. Let's catch up quickly with Union Mill coach Adrian Jacobs, and of course under case captain at Union Mill.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland.
It's hell of a good to see the guys hitting the pitch hard. What a game exactly. Look, we've trained very hard for the opener in the season. Just today, the game plan, the processes were spot on today. Paul has always been a danger team last year when they played in the Super B. Look, we're going to take it game by game. We're going to stick to our structures. Fortunately for us, we just need to play our game plan, and obviously if Paul comes and matches us, it's going to be difficult. But look, they're a new team. We know what to expect from them. It's exciting times, I think. We just want to take it week by week. So hopefully, if Paul is in front of us, we'll give it a go.
Wonderlik geweest vandag. Ons harte gaan op in die families wat hierdie week mense verloor het van ons eie 3. 2 spelers en ons yoga afrigter Hunter. So die game was totaal vandag vir hulle geweest en ons harte gaan regtig uit na hulle families toe. Postseason laas jaar November begin. Hadden CrossFit sessies ingesit, man het bloed gesweet op hierdie veld en die vrugte het vandag afbetaal. Daar was 'n tyd wat ons 'n dip gevang het vandag, maar het 'n hoë kans vir hierdie week. Ons onderskat glad die span nie. Ons gaan net so hard voorberei soos vir 'n Hammies, vir 'n Valsbaai, vir enige span. Ons vat dit week vir week. En obviously ons mikpunt is daai top 2 of top 3, maar ons moet dit elke week vir week vat. Dit is ons motto hierdie jaar hierso.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland.
All right, there we go, folks. We're going to move on now into some of the other games. Of course, there were lots of games in Super League A over the weekend. Let's quickly take a look at some of those results. Villagers beating NTK 57 points to 14. Union Mill, as you know, 63-29 over Hamilton's. Tigerberg 43-38 over Vix. SK went down to False Bay. Primrose went down to UCT, and Brackenfell with a 1-point win over Paarl. So we'll take a look at some of those games during the course of the show. Of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy is on board with Cape Rugby TV and with Western Province Rugby. And now, if you want to meet the DHL Stormers, then next week, Wednesday at 3:30, you can bring the kids and get down to MChem Pharmacy. They're on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. There you see the poster of the guys. Of course, the Stormers team will be out there, and that's Wednesday next week at 3:30. So get down there. That's in Durban Road, Belleville. Get down and meet the Stormers. We'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll start taking a look at some of our games. We'll start off, of course, with our first match being Paarl against Brackenfell. Right, as we said to you at the beginning of the show, there were going to be lots of games, at least footage of the Super League A games. We will still, during the course of the season, show you footage from all of the other leagues as well. We're just trying to make sure that we get the footage in from the various games. So don't worry, it's not only a Super League A show. We concentrate on all of the leagues. It's just that we've managed to find the league games from the Super League A coaches first. Our first game that we took a look at was, of course, Paarl up against Brackenfell.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
Right, there we go, folks. Brackenfell with a 1-point win over Paarl, 18 points to 7. Jerome, first time for Paarl in Super League A. 1 point difference there between them. That's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. I mean, obviously they wanted to win, but it's a good start. And it's also great to see that there's rugby at Forest Street again, because Forest Street was one of the fields in Paarl. So it's good to see that they're playing there.
Ish, you guys are facing, Unimil is facing Paarl this weekend, and I think you're playing away as well. So this is what you're expecting, Forest Street. But of course, you've played at Forest Street yourself many times when you're playing for Western Province. So
and you were the MC, and Morgan was the inside centre, and Jerome was the coach.
Yeah, is that true? All four of us were there back in your day.
Wow. Don't say how many years ago, because
no,
that might just give our
age away.
Yeah. I think Paul can be very proud of their performance. I mean, for first time in Super A against a quality team like Brackenfell, they can take maybe a lot of positives out of that. The game could have gone either way. If there's a 1 point difference, they would be licking their wounds, and I assume they're going to come out firing this weekend with nothing to lose. So well done to them. They can be very proud of their performance.
Morgs, of course, Union will have to be careful that they're going to the game overconfident.
Yeah, 100%. I look at this Paarl side and I look at their names on a piece of paper, and I tell you what, they're going to be some giant killers, I think, this year. You know, they may not end in the top 4 or 5, but I can tell you now they're going to definitely pick up 1 or 2 impressive wins this year. With the names that they have, the Freddie Millers of this world that I see there, they're really going to be impressive this year. So I look forward to watching them play, and then also you're going to have your hands full when you play against them.
Are you going to play?
No.
Well, we'll be resurrecting the golden oldies one of these days. Right then. The other big match was a couple of big matches, of course, in Super League A, starting the ball rolling. But let's take now a look at UCT up against Primrose. Primrose had home ground advantage.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Dulux Maitland.
Right, there we go, folks. Of course, a big win for UCT over Primrose, 54 points to 10. Jerome, this would be, in my opinion, a little bit of an unfair start to the season. UCT have just come out of the Varsity Cup, totally warmed up, totally ready for this. They've got a whole bunch of game time under the belt.
Yeah, it is, JP, and it all comes down to conditioning again. And I mean, UCT has been too busy from last year already in building a team, and they've done well in the Varsity Cup. So it was always going to be a struggle for Primrose, and look, Primrose also just need to work on a couple of things and just start to build again now. But not too bad for them, but I mean, the score could have been worse.
Yeah, Ish, this coming weekend, though, Primrose up against False Bay. If they don't take some learnings out of the UCT game now and start it's very difficult for teams to get into it quickly by the second week. But the UCT game will give them a bit of a tester and know what's coming for False Bay.
Yeah, I think in Super A, there's no easy games. Every week is a tough challenge, and it doesn't come any tougher than False Bay. So I think Primrose, what they can take out of it is, listen here, it was a tough weekend last weekend. This weekend's going to be tough again. Let's prepare ourselves and learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, of course, there's a new coaching structure at Primrose as well.
Yeah, so I think Primrose is also in a bit of a transition phase
Yeah.
in terms of new coaches, new players, and that will take some time, you know. Sometimes people are not patient enough to work with the current coaching staff, but I think let's give these guys an opportunity and give them the backing and the support that they need, and provide them that environment for them to flourish, and they'll make a success of it.
Well, we're looking forward to Primrose's progress during the course of the season. SK Women's was up against False Bay over the weekend. We're going to take a look at that after the break. Of course, Score Energy Drinks on board with Cape Rugby TV. If you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, then 33090 is the number that you need to SMS. Just SMS the word SCORE to 33090 and you can put yourself in the mix to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. Congratulations to last week's winner, Candice Mentor. Candice, somebody from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you shortly, and you'll get your case of Score Energy Drinks. We'll be back after the break with SK Warmers up against False Bay. Welcome back, everybody. Right, whole host of games. Of course, we're taking a look at the footage that we received from the clubs in Super League A, and then we're moving to Super League B, C, and of course the divisions in a minute or so. A lot to catch up with. SK Warmers were up against False Bay. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland.
Welcome back, everybody. SK Warmers, False Bay, and what a game. And Jerome, really looking at that game, I kind of had a feeling there that SK Warmers has got a pretty good side ready for Super League A. I know that the points don't necessarily say, it looks that way. They maybe lost the game, but looking at the SK players, they look like they're ready for Super League A.
Yeah, look, they didn't give up, so well done to them. And I think False Bay were a bit shocked about the way SK was playing. And I mean, they've got quality players there, yeah. But False Bay is a quality side, so yeah, the score is not really the true reflection of the game, but hopefully SK can build on that.
Yeah, Ish, this weekend, you want to say something about the game?
Yeah, I think the SK False Bay games always brings out the best in both clubs.
Yeah.
And I think that's just to do with that they're always playing each other the first game of the season of the past couple of years. But I think SK having a new coach in Fulcrum here, he brings a lot of new ideas, and he's quite innovative in his approach. The players I can see is buying into his system, and I mean they've got Papa's back. He was injured last year, so it's nice to see these guys rallying around the new coach and Papa's as well. So
yeah,
we look forward to some good results from SK.
Morgs, SK Women's take on UCT this weekend. If we look at UCT and their result over Primrose, it was a win for them there. But looking at SK Women's and their what I consider to be a reasonably solid performance against False Bay, which is a very good side, we might see that SK Women's against UCT is going to be quite a close game.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be tight, Japes. That's going to it'll be a nice game to watch as well, because both teams like to give the ball air. You know, I think SK are known to give the ball some air, and the same rules apply with UCT. So a great game to watch. But you know, when I look at these highlights that you've been showing here, I think a big thing for me, what I'm seeing is the fact that a lot of these teams, the quality of rugby players have been spread nice and evenly across Super League A. Yeah. And I don't think we're going to see many massive results this year. I think it's really going to be, it's going to go down to the wire this year in terms of, you know, that Super League A has a look and feel of what Super League B was last year. You know, that tight matches every week, you got to lift yourself, and no one's going to run away with this in the same breath. No one's just going to lie down, you know. SK can go confidently to UCT in the same breath that Primrose can go confidently to wherever they may go, you know, one of the bigger sides. So
besides Marty's,
Marty's, I was about to say, Marty's will come into the play, will come into the league, and then we'll see what happens. But with one or two good plans, and Marty's maybe coming on a high of having hopefully won the Varsity Cup, there's going to be one or two teams licking their lips for Marty's.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Of course, UCT beat Marty's last year, so
exactly.
Well, anything on any day. All right, folks. Dulux Maitland is, of course, just over Voortrekker Road. They've got all your paint supplies. They're on board with Cape Rugby TV. So anything that you need paint-wise, Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. Get out there and get your paint specs. When we come back from the ad break, we'll take a look at what happened between Tygerberg and Vix. Welcome back. Right, let's get straight into it. Tygerberg were up against Vix in the Super League A start of the season over the weekend. Let's catch up.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland.
Welcome back, folks. Right, Tygerberg with a 43 points to 38 win over Vix. Jerome, that's a good win for Tygerberg.
Yeah, I think Anton Moelman is coaching there now. It's the first year that he's back or coaching there. But I must say he's also lucky in a sense because that squad has been together, most of them, for 3 years. So they can only do better. And that's a good result because we all know the amount of players Marties and Vix have to choose from.
Is that a slip of the tongue?
So that's a good win for them.
All right, folks, of course, what Jerome is referring to there is that the Marties players and the Vix players, for those of you that are watching Cape Rugby for the first time, Vix is a University of Stellenbosch team. And that's, of course, the same team as Marties, the Stellenbosch University. So lots of rugby players at Stellenbosch. In fact, I think it's the world's biggest rugby club. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Wolves used to play for Marties.
Yeah, that's right, James.
And then for Hammy.
Well, it's only it's only the biggest because the club, the Kosais leagues fall under the club, under the rugby club. So they're able to select from Kosais as well.
All right, let's move on. Villagers were up against NTK, another Super League A game. Let's take a look at this match.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland.
Here we go, folks. Villagers 57-14 over NTK. Jerome, it's definitely been a turnaround for Villagers over the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, Villagers, their coach last week said against Hamilton's that he's happy. He's also a new coach.
Yeah.
But although they lost that game, but he also knew what to work on now. So we can see he fixed a couple of things, and that's a good result.
Yeah, Ish?
Yeah, no, I think they've turned the corner. Also a new coach, and with their game last week against Hammies, you could see, listen, there's a different Villagers side. And I mean, the result speaks for themselves. I mean, we win last as Villagers beaten an NTK side with 50 points. So I think they're a side to look forward to. So well done to, is it Kevin? Kevin van Rensburg is the new head coach of Villagers. So yeah, well done to him.
More, I suppose the other way one could say is when last did an NTK side lose to a Villagers side.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's you can't say that, James. But I think they'll bounce back again. You know, again, there's enough quality in the NTK side, to bounce back. And it's just nice to see Villagers, you know, putting teams away. I must be honest, when we played them 2 weeks ago, that backline has got something special about them. They got a really nice look and feel, some experienced players amongst the youth there. And again, Villagers side that'll do well this year.
Villagers up against Tygerberg this weekend.
Yeah, there's a bit of history there. You know, Mully's has got a history with Villagers.
Of course, yeah.
And he's got a history. Well, he's currently in the hot seat at Tygerberg. So, again, there should be should be quite a hot game to look forward to. And every game, if you look at it through the league, I mean, I've been going through the fixtures, and every game in Super League A is really one that you know, can you make a call?
Not so much anymore.
Especially so early on in the year, which is great to see, you know. And it bodes well for the league as it is, and for the spectators, and the brand of rugby that all the teams are playing is really one of, you know, giving the ball some air. So exciting times in Super League A.
Ishmael Dolly, we're going to say goodbye to you now, and yeah, good luck for for this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, and all the best to all the teams this week.
Yeah. Right, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we'll start taking a look at Super League B, Super League C, and the various fixtures, and of course, all your match day posters that you've sent in. A lot of exciting games and a lot of great posters that have come in from the various clubs. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back everybody, Cape Rugby TV. Remember, find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Let's quickly look at the fixtures coming up this weekend in Super League A. It's Primrose up against False Bay. SK take on UCT. Paarl and Union Mill Hamiltons up against UWC. Brackenfell and Vix. Tygerberg and Villages. All right, of course, Super League B, what we've been referring to as the League of Death, is of course very exciting this year. Let's quickly take a look at some of the results from Super League B. Vineyards with a win over Collegians, 33-17. Rangers with a win over Young Peoples. Macassar went down to Goodwood. Franschhoek with a win over Kuilsriver. Helderberg, well, good win for them over Busy Bees, 47-29. Belhar with a win over Hamlet. And then All Saints went down to St. George's over the weekend. So a lot of exciting rugby in Super League B this weekend. Let's take a look at the fixtures in Super League B. And we'll see here that Belhar are up against Franschhoek over the weekend. St. George's take on Kuilsriver. Helderberg and Rangers. Goodwood and Young Peoples. Busy Bees and Belleville. Vineyards and All Saints. Collegians and Macassar. Jerome, Belhar and Franschhoek, this promises to be a massive game. Franschhoek has been doing really well in Super League B, and Belhar come down from Super League A. I think they had a narrow win over the weekend, but this is going to be a big game.
Yeah, it's a game for, I think, Super B. That's a game for the weekend. Because Belhar, as you say, they came down from Super A, and Franschhoek is doing pretty well. But also, Irvin October is back at Belhar, and I've been there helping him 2 sessions, and they've got a good squad going, so it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah. Morg St. George's had a narrow win over All Saints over the weekend. They're sort of just down the road from each other, typical derby match. Kuilsriver also have come out of Super League A, so you've got 2 teams here that have got that are playing in Super League B now. I know this is probably why they call it the League of Death, but 2 teams that have both had Super League A experience. This is going to be a cracker.
Yeah, this is going to be a cracker, Japes. You know, again, doesn't it? Second game of the season, and we were like, we're sitting on our edge of our seats, wanting to, you know, can't make a call between tough teams. So, I think that again, Super League B always the group or the League of Death, as you call it, but. Stand-up games there will be those top 2 definitely. Belhar taking on Franschhoek and St. George's Kuilsriver. Oof, I don't want to be one to call those.
It's going to be close. Jerome, and then of course, if I look at a team here that you probably know a little bit more about, is Busy Bees. At least, well, you know a lot about Busy Bees as well. But of course, you know a lot about Belleville. So Busy Bees and Belleville. Busy Bees lost over the weekend, but they'll be looking to bounce back against Belleville.
Yeah, look, they scored a lot of points against Helderberg. So in Busy Bees, it's the first time Super B for them to play at home. So it will be a big challenge for Belleville, and both teams like to run the ball. So I think it's going to be a big scoring game.
It's going to be big. Right, let's take a look at the fixtures in Super League C. Peniel Villages are up against Strand United. Young Wesleys take on Scottsdene. Morning Star and Hands and Hearts. Kraaifontein and Strand, Blue Jets and Wraithby, Blue Stars, Carlamore, Manenberg Rangers and Lunga. And then in the City League, it's Progress up against Perseverance. Violets are up against Watsonia. Hamadeers take on Police Gardens and Young Ideas. Caledonia Rose up against Temperance and Cities. Western Zebras up against Silvertree. And in the Southern League, it's Retreat Peninsula, Titans Lagunya, Bishop Labors and Young Stars, Atlantis and Rocklands, Young Brothers and Thistle. Albions take on Fundestel Evergreens in the Northern League, Blakes and Imikawi, Delft and Stelkor, Kailicha and Silurians. Whistling Wheels take on Strand Pioneers, and Windmill United take on Eerste Rivier. And then in the Paarl League, it's Young Gardens up against Violets Paarl. Allendale take on Lower Paarl. Paarl Rangers are up against Young Standards, and Riverstones are up against Simondium. All right, so don't forget, of course, folks, that the referees are looking for you. If you want to become a referee, go and join the Referee Society. Check out their website, www.wbclubrugby.co.za. Right, as we promised, the posters have come rolling in for the games that are happening this weekend. Our first poster is from Blue Stars and Kylemore. So the big game over the weekend, Blue Stars and Kylemore, kicking off there, of course, at 1:30 already with the under-20s. And Eddie's Transport is one of their sponsors. A little bit difficult to see the guys at the bottom there, but a big game then, Blue Stars United at the Klaprit Sports Ground against Kylemore. And then St. George's are up against Kells River this weekend, as we mentioned earlier on. The entry fee there is only 20 Rand for adults. The pensioners, 10 Rand for pensioners. Scholars, 10 Rand. And cars, 10 Rand. Kindly sponsored there by Rematch Sport. So big supporters there of St. George's Rematch Sport. And then it's Atlantis up against Rocklands this coming Saturday at the Protea Park Sports Ground. That's, of course, at 53 Carrier Avenue. So transport to the field is available and will depart from Rocklands Civic at 11 a.m. So players and supporters will be advised of that cost on a Thursday. Entrance fees are at the gate. Then Goodwood are up against Young Peoples this weekend at the Goodwood Rugby Club this coming Saturday. Kicks off at 1:30 with the main game, of course, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's, of course, Goodwood up against Young Peoples. And then the match we were talking about earlier on, remember this bus takes off at 11 o'clock. It's only 70 Rand. It's Belleville up against Busy Bees this coming weekend. And the first team kicking off there at 4 p.m. And it's a Belhar up against Franschhoek, kickoff at 4 o'clock, as you know. And that promises to be a big game at Accordion Park. Union Mill are, of course, up against Paarl over the weekend, and they travel to the Forest Stadium, and that is at 4 p.m. on Saturday. And then it's Hamadiers up against Police. Nice poster that's coming here. Congratulations to these guys. Vygies Kraal is the home ground for Hamadiers, playing against Police. Final 10 Rand for adults, 10 Rand for the vehicles, and free for children under 12. Right, folks, there's a derby match between Retreat and Peninsula at Allenby Drive. And, of course, that main game kicking off at 4 o'clock. So Retreat up against Peninsula in that derby match. Our pick of the week is in the Southern League this weekend. There are so many great games out there, but we've decided to focus on the derby match between Retreat and Peninsula. That's, of course, kicking off on Saturday at 4 o'clock. So there's going to be probably a derby atmosphere there, but it's the Southern League for us this weekend as we go and catch up with Anthony Elmerson and the guys at Retreat. So Retreat are hosting Peninsula. It's a derby match. Cape Rugby TV is going to be there in the Southern League. Why don't you come down and say hello? Jerome, a lot of action in the leagues this weekend. You've, of course, got video analysis happening with the coaches at the moment. Yeah, we at the HPC, just going through helping the coaches on how to prepare for a game and how to give feedback to their players and analyze a game. All right, and of course, Morgan Newman, you'll be standing in for me next week. I will be, James. I'll be in the hot seat, so I expect all the viewers to come back. I'm just teasing. I'm also expecting that. But yeah, I'll be in the hot seat. Yeah, but so many good games to look forward to. Yeah. I won't have to do much. We can just play all the highlights of all the games and we'll be good to go. Yeah, well, we're certainly getting some match day footage, and we've had a lot of requests to show more rugby, so people are probably wondering why so many games. Any club out there, if you get the game to us, we will try and get that footage on. It's not only about Super League A, any league, any club, get the footage to us. Unfortunately, we are limited in how many games we can go to. Send us the footage or get it to us, and we can try and get it on air. Jerome? Yeah, JP, just well done to all the two universities, Marties, and tomorrow evening CPUT play in the final. Yeah. Marties play in the final, and also Saturday Durbanville is playing in the final. So we're very proud at Western Province of these clubs, because we in all the finals that's there to play. Yeah, lots of action. Yeah, Durban Sunday, kickoffs on Sunday, but yeah, we wish all the clubs
good luck for this
Yeah, no,
weekend.
certainly Western Province Rugby's on the up. A lot of great stuff happening in the world of Western Province Rugby at the moment. And speaking of Western Province Rugby, folks, don't forget, of course, that the DHL Stormers will be out at MCAM next week, Wednesday. That's, of course, at 3:30 Wednesday afternoon at MCAM Pharmacy. They're down the N1 on the corner of Durban Road and the N1. So just get down there to meet the DHL Stormers this coming Wednesday. It's going to be fantastic to meet the boys. You can get autographs, you can get some selfie pics. They're going to give away some flags and some other memorabilia. So a lot of fun expected next week, Wednesday, 3:30 at MChem Pharmacy. So get down there and say hello to the boys. I'm sure that now they come back from their overseas leg, they're going to be very happy to see the Cape Town fans. And of course, MChem Pharmacy as a supporter of Western Province Rugby. Jerome, plans for the weekend?
Hopefully watching 2 games, one half. So
Yeah.
I must decide which games I'm going to. But
So you can
that's
drive
my Saturday.
quickly.
Yeah, but preferably close to each other.
Yeah. Morgs, good luck for the weekend for you guys.
Yep, thanks. UWC, Japes. They'll be coming off the they're coming off the Varsity Cup. So tough one for Amis, but we're looking forward to it.
100%. I'm sure you guys are going to do well. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us here. Remember, please send us those posters, send us your footage. We can get it all on air. And remember, you must have the Cape Rugby logo on your poster. That's a wrap from us here at Cape Rugby TV. And fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Dulux Maitland.